Hello, friends. Welcome to Akul Mac Live. And I have a question for you. Do you believe that the cybernetic organisms or cyborgs are they real, or are they going to come into our lives or our future generations' life for real, as we have been seeing in the movies? And that is something which is some I want to analyze today in the program. That this cybernetic organism is an organism which is a combination of the biological material and the cybernetics which are attached to the biological material or biological mind. That is the definition of cybernetics. And when we are actually planning to go to space, the conversation is revolving around taking our, making large ships, taking our food, our environment, our gravity along, and it is a very very difficult task to do that. You know that traveling from outside earth also is a very energy consuming process. So when we want to explore to other planets, other parts of the galaxy, we would need to get into a situation where we have a long life. We don't get entangled into carrying this atmosphere with us, carrying our gravity with us, and so on. And that is when the question of having cyborgs comes in. In fact, if you remember watching these movies where they show that along with humans there is also a robot which goes and do a lot of these jobs which human find it very difficult to do, which I presume should not be the case. And we also notice that there is going to be a AI element. That means the AI will derive most of the equipment that we carry, which I find it very absurd. I, in fact, don't believe this. If you see the Marvel comics, Iron Man, it looks like the Jarvis, which is the AI of Tony Stark, seems to be more intelligent Tony Stark. Yet Tony Stark controls Jarvis, and then Jarvis controls all the variants of Iron Man. So I don't think that is going to be the scene. What will happen in reality is that we will have to become a cyborg. I think that is where the reality lies, and in a way, it is already happening. We can get our limbs replaced. There is already a hip replacement. There is a knee replacement. All shoulder replacements. So all those kinds of things are already happening, are available. You can get to the hospital and get your limbs replaced. There are a lot of research going on when it comes to replacement. In fact, there are replacement happening recently. I mean, just last week, the scientists have successfully replaced a pig's heart into a human body. So a lot of these replacement of organ will also happen. And when we talk about replacements, it is something which is already happening. So in nutshell, are we already sort of a quasi cyborg? And that is a very profound question. Are we already becoming a cyborg? Because we have developed the life-saving drugs for ourselves. We are developing limbs. If we have natural limbs which are not working out for us, we can get them replaced and replaced with mechanical ones. And once we have this limbs replaced, we can then, next level would be to replace the limbs for that particular job. So if you want to lift a heavy weight, you can just replace your limb with a forklift, and so on and so forth. There is, however, one organ which cannot be replaced, and that is your mind. So we will come to that. But I think the limb replacement is already happening in a very big way. In fact, there are a lot of neural network based technology which is being deployed in this arena. So in a way, we are already becoming cyborg because we can treat our ailments by the medicines that we have, and we can also replace our limbs and also organs. If you want to debate on this, basically you can send in your comments. But I think 50 years back, the average life expectancy for humans were about 40, 50 years. Today it is about 80. So as we progress and as our technology progress into the future, we will be able to elongate our life. And I think this is an example of having an artificial heart. What is an heart? Heart is just a pump which actually, carry the blood and make sure that the blood reaches every part of the body. Now, if we are replacing our limbs, our body, there will be a different kind of blood required. In the sense, there will be only electricity required, and we will not need such a strong heart. We can probably replace the heart to basically pump the blood into certain parts of the body. So I think the whole structure of the human body as we see will change in future, and we will live longer, because if the natural life is not is not natural body is not helping you, you can always get it replaced by an artificial one. And then artificial once you have that artificial equipment in your body, you can always replace it and get a new one. Every new replacement will be a new technology. So I think we are already becoming a sort of a cyborg, and we are actually going to have a longer life at an accelerated pace as the technology improves. There is one thing which is very hard to replace, and that is your mind. And there could be some repair required in terms of, in case your mind is still controlling and your heart, which is artificial, but your mind is your intelligence and that is controlling. So I think that is where the nanotechnology will come in picture, where these nano machines will be will be sent to your body, and they will not only monitor your state of your mind, will also monitor what is the health of your biological component of your body and repair it. So these cybernetic nano machines can be engineered to make sure that your biological parts are always kept healthy and are always in top-notch conditions. However, I think the scientists have noticed that the brain cells, again a biological material, cannot survive forever. There is a limitation with regard to how much survivability you have. So even though you are able to replace everything else in the body, but not your intelligence, which is actually residing in your brain as of now. So I think the next step would be to make sure that the brain is also living forever. And one of the theory to make sure that the brain does not live inside a biological brain that we have, which is having neurons, we can actually transfer your entire brain functions with memory into a computer. If that happens, then there will be no death, because as long as you're able to provide the entire electricity for brain to function, you don't need to eat food. There will be no requirement in terms of reproducing and so on and so forth, but your brain power will increase exponentially as we go along in our progress. And if that happens, then we will truly become a space-faring civilization, and we will be completely becoming a cybernetic organism which will not require to carry their atmosphere, to carry their environment with them when they go into a ship. They don't need to carry their farms or food along with them, because there could be many mechanisms to produce the power for a cybernetic organism. And the intelligence is part of your intelligence, which has been already present with you, which is now transferred into a computer. So you will become a long lasting, very very efficient machine, or a cybernetic living organism. And then you can reach out to different parts of the galaxy, colonize these different parts of the galaxy in a true sense. So I think in my opinion, the journey to become a cybernetic organism has already begun about 200 years back. Today, if we have a problem, we go to the doctor and we say that, hey, I have this problem, and doctor will give you a medicine, you remove that problem and you live. So you live longer. 100 years back, if you had that small problem, you would die actually, because there will be no medicine. So I think we have been able to elongate our life artificially, and therefore, I think we're already living in the era of becoming a cyborg. And I think after 100 years, I think there will be a lot of cybernetic organisms roaming around the earth, and they will also be roaming into the space in nearby planets and establishing colonies in the nearby solar systems. So friends, if you agree with me, do write in, send in your comments, and I will read out some of your comments in the next episode of Akul Mac Live. For today, I like to say goodbye and only to catch you again in the next one.